First things first, I'm going to use my MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot to prime my eyelids, and then I'm going to take this Morphebrushes 35P palette. I love this palette because it's based on purple tones and plum shades, anything you could think of, and a lot of shimmers. So I'm going to take the lightest shade in the palette and I'm going to apply that all over my eyelid just to have an easier base so that my eyeshadows can blend easily. Now I'm taking the shade next to it. It's like a light muted pink, and I'm gonna apply that onto my crease area, well, into my crease area, just so I can have that crease shade. You know, when you're layering different eyeshadows, you want that to seep through as well. And I like using my BH Cosmetics blending brush. I just think it's easier to use that kind of brush. I've been loving it lately, so for a really affordable price, like $9.99 with the set, it comes in a set, so I like using that, you know, for my crease area. And you want to make sure you want to blend very well so that it can look diffused and not just sitting on top of your, you know, your crease area and just in harsh shade. So now I'm going to take this deeper shade and I'm going to apply that into my crease, well, my outer crease, just so I can have a little bit more depth into the outer crease, because everyone has their own way of doing makeup. You know, that's cool. Like, everyone has their own different way of doing things when it comes to eye makeup or their faces. Me personally, I have to deepen up my left crease bone a lot more than I have to do on my right, because my left crease bone is not as in depth than my right one. I know it's strange, but yeah. So moving on, I basically just diffuse that shade with my blending brush from Wet n Wild, and I just basically drag the residue of the eyeshadow into my inner eye. The shade that I use on my eyelid, the light shade, I'm basically applying that as my brow bone shade. Now I'm taking this deeper purple. It's like a purple blue. I don't know, like, it's pretty. It's really, really pretty. So I basically take like this fluffy angle brush from Morphebrushes, and I just basically apply and pat it down into my outer eye. And I also take this blending brush. It's like a fluffy blending brush from Morphebrushes. I do have like this small brush set from Morphe for just $20. It's really affordable, but the brushes are a lot smaller, like the handles. And I just take this brush and I basically diffuse and blend out really well the shade. And I don't take it all the way to my inner eye because I just don't want it to be muddy and messy. So I just take it and blend it, you know, kind of like a third of the eye. And I go back and add more highlight to my brow bone, and then I take the brush that, you know, I use for the other shade, and I just basically, with no extra product, I just basically blend everything out. So that's what I'm just doing throughout this part. I'm just blending out the outer shades so that way, like, it could be more smokier and more diffused, and it just blends and cohesive together. So yeah, that's what I'm basically doing, and I'm applying more highlight. What's up with that? I don't know why I was applying so much of it, but yeah. So I do take the Wet n Wild brush and I'm blending out more of that shade. I don't pick up any extra product, only because I just think, you know, when you pick up extra product, you're adding too much, and it's just gonna look a hot mess. You don't want that. So now I'm taking this shade. It's kind of like in the middle, and it's like a deeper shade. It's not black, but on the screen it looks black, but it's pretty much like an off black. And I just basically blend everything out from the outer corner. I don't drag anything inwards. I just basically blend out, you know, diffuse the shade in the outer corner. And I do take the Sonia Kashuk brush, and I don't add any extra product, but I do blend that out, so that way the off black shade and the purple blue shade can just kind of combine together and just be a little softer, so without, you know, adding any product. And you see, like, I didn't add any extra product, but just bringing a little bit of whatever shade that I applied, just dragging a little bit, little by little, into my inner corner. Now I'm taking this beautiful shade. I love this shade. Like, this is the best shade I've seen in so long in a palette. And I basically wet my brush. I use my Sigma brush. I'll list the brush down below. And I wet it and I just basically apply it onto my eyelids. And I don't drag it all the way in because I want the outer corner shade to blend with the shimmer shade. It's such a beautiful shade. Like, you can't go wrong with that shade. Like, I know you're probably thinking like, yo, that shade is really, really nice. I love it. It's so beautiful. And I told myself, yo, when I use a shade, it's gonna be in a makeup tutorial because I have to show it. It's left over. Whatever's left on the brush, I basically apply that in my inner corner just to give it a little bit of a highlight in my inner eye. And yeah, so I pick up a little bit of that off black and I use this really detailed brush. It's the Morphe E18 brush. I love it for just detailing and getting in there, like really in there in the little crevices of your eyes, like your crease area or just for your outer eye. And I love using this brush. So I basically apply that in my outer eye just so that I can deepen it up a little more because the eyelid shade is very bright. So I want the outer eyes to be a little bit more deeper and darker. So I do apply a little bit more of that off black shade and I basically blend it out. That's the key to everything. Just blend it out. I think this is the one tutorial that I really had to be in depth of blending because when you're messing with like purples or like anything that has to do with like different undertones of purples, you have to really blend well, and you want to see those shades, those transition shades. You don't want it to just be a mess on your eyes. So you see here, you see the first transition shade, then you see the crease shade, and then you see like the outer shade. So that's what you want in an eye makeup tutorial. So you see, like I'm just like, I have to be into it when I'm looking at myself, and I'm not trying to sound conceited, but if you know what I mean, like, you know, when you're doing your makeup, you have to be in it. You have to look at yourself. You have to look at the eye. You have to see if it's symmetrical. So that's what I do. I have to look and keep looking because you never know. Like, you could have one eyelid that's really pretty and then the other one doesn't come out the same. So you just have to see if it comes out right. So I'm taking my Inglot Gel Liner. My favorite gel liner is waterproof. I love it. And I just show you real quick on how I apply my eyeliner real quick because I am gonna do a in-depth video on how to apply gel liner. I do have a liquid liner, like how to apply liquid liner, but I'm gonna do a video on this gel liner because it's so amazing. Now time for lashes. I'm going to use my Vegas Nay Grand Glamour lashes, and I just basically apply some regular duo glue, and I'm also going to apply some mascara from Too Faced Better Than Sex. And I do apply whatever product that's on the brush. I just basically add some of that color underneath my under my eye, and I basically blend it out with a blending brush. And I do pick up a little bit of the Inglot Gel Liner and I apply that into my waterline. I love that it's waterproof, so it doesn't move. So I smudge that out with my small detailed brush from Morphe, and I just diffuse it all over underneath the eye to make it a little bit more smoky. So now I apply my lashes. Now onto my face, I'm gonna use my e.l.f. bronzer blush compact. I'll list the name down below. I always forget the name of it, but I know it's in the shade St. Lucia. So I take this fluffy angle brush. It's like a contour brush from Morphe, and I apply whatever bronzer and area that I want it to be more bronzy and more sun-kissed on my face. So I don't apply too much like I usually do. So whatever's left over from the brush, I just run it down on the sides of my nose, and then I take my sponge, my Real Technique sponge, and I just blend out the concealer on the bridge of the nose so it can basically focus on that instead of like, you know, showing that my nose is so big. I use some blush from e.l.f. and I just take 2 shades from there, like on the left side of the palette, and I noticed that it's just a little too pigmented, so I kind of tone it down with the actual Real Technique sponge because it's just too pigmented and it looks like more clown-like. So I just tone it down and then I just add a little bit powder, but I don't show it here. Now I'm going to use this Anastasia Beverly Hills highlight. It's Starlight, and I really love this highlight. It's like my favorite high-end highlight so far. My second favorite is MAC, Soft and Gentle, but this one here, it's just really, really nice. I don't go all crazy like I usually do, but I just love it. So I do apply a little bit of that into my inner eye so that way it can just pop in the inner corner, and I really love this highlight. So now I use some Fix Plus from MAC, and I use this little fan from I bought it at the beauty supply store, so I really do like it. It reminds me like of, you know, Chinatown from Soho. So yes, for the lips I'm using Colourpop. Of course, I use Colourpop Ultra Satin Lip in Echo Park. And then after that, I apply some mascara on my bottom lashes, and this is the final look. I really hope you like this look. Leave me a comment down below what you think of it, and if you have any requests, leave me a comment down below, and subscribe to my channel and follow me on social media. I'll see you guys next time.